Learning to make sacrifices is an important part of life. We all need to realize that not all of our dreams will come true, so we can compromise and focus on the ones that mean the most to us. Learning to let go of ambitions or goals also plays a big role in the world of film. There are countless examples of heroes trying to get their hands on something, only to eventually realize that it's not going to happen. Whether it's an item, a relationship, or even life itself, letting go was hard for these characters, but was ultimately the right call. With that in mind, I'm Adam from What Culture, and here are 10 best let it go moments in movies. Number 10. Gawain accepts death, The Green Knight. A bit of a sleeper hit from 2021, The Green Knight is a medieval fantasy epic based on a 14th century poem. Before you bark at the phrase 14th century poem, hear us out. It's a good movie. It stars Dev Patel as Gawain, a nobleman who enters into a deadly bargain with the eponymous Green Knight. The bargain is that he who lands a blow on the knight shall receive his powerful green axe, on the condition that he take an identical blow in 1 year's time. Easy, thought Gawain. I'll just chop his stupid head off and then I won't have to take the blow. Sadly for Gawain, this is exactly what he does, only for the immortal knight to pick up his head and walk away. See you in a year. The rest of the film is Gawain's quest to find the knight. He originally tries to cheat death, but soon succumbs to his destiny and makes amends with the situation he has made for himself. The film ends with Dev Patel getting his head lopped off, which is a weird thing to think of as a happy ending, but it is one. Honest. Number 9. The Earth Isn't Worth It, The Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods takes everything you think you know about teen horror movies and flips it upside down. It then sharpens those ideas into a knife before stabbing you right through the spleen. An exceptionally bloody affair, this movie frames the classic teens in a cabin story as an ultra-organized ritual designed to satiate a group of powerful demons called the Ancient Ones. If the ritual, in which 5 traditional horror stereotypes are sacrificed every year, is not complete, then the Ancient Ones will rise from beneath the earth and lay waste to the planet. Sounds like something you'd want to avoid, right? Well, not if your name is either Dana or Marty. These are the 2 survivors of their group and the ones who discover the staged nature of their gruesome experience. It is revealed to Dana that Marty must die in order to fulfill the sacrifice and keep the Earth from being destroyed. However, deciding that human life isn't worth sustaining at such a cost, Dana lets Marty live, and the movie ends with the start of the apocalypse. There are some positive endings in this list. Promise. Number 8. Bruce Wayne gives up the bat, The Dark Knight Rises. After everything he went through in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, Bruce Wayne definitely earned himself a holiday. Maybe a holiday he never returns from. This is exactly what happens at the end of the final film in the series, The Dark Knight Rises. After defeating Bane and Talia al Ghul, Brucey flies a nuclear bomb out of range of Gotham before it explodes, presumably taking him with it. Batman's heroic sacrifice undoes all of the smearing that the Joker led against him in the previous film, but it did cost Bruce his life. Or did it? No, it didn't. Otherwise, this wouldn't be the entry. Months after the bat's disappearance, good old Alfred Pennyworth spots Master Wayne whilst on his holidays. It's revealed that Bruce faked his death as a way to escape Gotham and start a new, calmer life overseas. Not that that would be difficult. Some surgeons have a less stressful existence than Batman. It's a great moment of catharsis to see someone who had given up so much to Gotham finally taking care of themselves for once. See? Told you there'd be a happy ending. Number 7. Indy drops the Grail, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is the film where we find out that Indiana Jones' dad is actually James Bond, which explains a lot about his thirst for adventure and attitudes towards women. Harrison Ford's third outing as the whip-wielding hero sees him star alongside his proud pop Sean Connery, who in reality was only 12 years older than him, in a mission to thwart a corrupt businessman from getting his hands on the Holy Grail. The cup grants eternal life. He didn't just want it as a trinket. In the film's thrilling climax, Indy attempts to rescue Dr. Elsa Schneider, his and his father's love interest in the movie, as she attempts to grab the Grail whilst dangling above a ravine. Schneider's desire for the goblet ultimately kills her as she loses her grip and plummets to her death. Indy is then overcome with the same greed, only to have his dad snap him out of it. The Grail is then lost when the temple collapses, but at least Dr. Jones lives to see another day. Now, if only Ford could learn to let go of acting before he really hurts himself on set. Oh wait, that already happened. Stop it, Harrison. Stop it right now. Number 6. Bill's final journey, Meet Joe Black. The entire purpose of 1998's Meet Joe Black is a man coming to terms with his own death. Yep, that pretty much hits the nail on the head for this brief. Anthony Hopkins plays Bill, a businessman who is confronted by the Reaper but manages to strike a deal. If Bill shows Death around and guides him in what it means to be human, then he gets to stay alive. Death then takes on the form of Brad Pitt, because you would do too if you had the option. The film actually has 2 great moments of letting go. One is Death accepting that he does not not belong in the human world, therefore letting go of his newfound feelings for Bill's daughter. And as for dear old Anthony, well, once Death decides to leave the mortal plane, he realizes his time is up. A profoundly moving story about grief, love, and the human condition, Meet Joe Black is a fantastic tale of accepting one's fate and making the most of the time you have. Crikey, we've gone right back to the deep stuff, and it's only going to get worse from here. Number 5. Meet Me in Montauk, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The fantastic Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a highly fantastical story about very real human feelings. Joel, Jim Carrey, discovers that his girlfriend Clementine, Kate Winslet, has undergone a procedure to have her memories of him removed. Hurt and bitter, Joel gets the same treatment but realizes that it's not what he really wants. Unfortunately, like bungee jumping, this is not something you can just stop halfway through. This leads to Joel and an imagined version of Clementine trying to escape the mind wipe by running through his own memories. This gives way to some utterly surreal scenes. Giant baby Jim Carrey is a trip and a half before the two lovers arrive at their first memory of each other. Realizing that he cannot escape the science, Joel gives up trying to remember his ex-girlfriend, but not before she tells him to meet her in that spot in the real world. It's sad to watch Joel lose Clem, but at least we know they get back together in reality. Although, based on how their relationship went in the first time, that may not be a good thing. Number 4. Bye Bye Andy, Toy Story 3. This entry almost went to that bit where the toys accept their own death in the incinerator, but that is far too harrowing to recount, and we don't want to get sued for giving people emotional breakdowns. Instead, let's focus on another really bleeding sad bit from the world leaders in weaponized feelings, Pixar. At the end of Toy Story 3, when the playthings have not been scorched to death in a fiery hellscape, Andy drops them off at Bonnie's house before he leaves for college. Andy was going to keep his prized Sheriff Woody doll as a good luck charm at university, so you can imagine his surprise when he finds the cowboy at the bottom of the donations box. Woody snuck in there to be with his friends, giving up the boy who meant the world to him. Not only does Woody have to let go of Andy, but vice versa. Woody represents the last part of the young man's childhood. Him transferring his magic to Bonnie represents his transition into adulthood. Oh, you thought the incinerator entry was going to be a gut punch. Somebody pass the tissues. Number 3. Don't Let Go Jack, Titanic. Yeah, it's obvious and a cliche, but it still gets you right in the feels. James Cameron's epic public safety announcement about the virtue of good boat building, Titanic smashed through box office records like they were an iceberg when it came out in 1997. The highly fictionalized romance between Jack and Rose swept cinemagoers up in a whirlwind of romance before plummeting them into the icy abyss of the North Atlantic Ocean. One of the many famous scenes in Titanic is Rose telling Jack not to let go as the pair float on a large piece of driftwood. Unfortunately, Jack doesn't have much to say in the matter because he's dead. His lifeless body slips away, sinking to the bottom of the ocean. So technically, Jack didn't let go at this point. He was dead. He couldn't let go of anything. We're talking about the moment he let Rose go onto the door in the first place. He was a smart guy. He must have known that his chances of survival in the frigid water were basically zero, and yet he did it anyway, all for true love. What a dreamboat. Oops, shouldn't have used the B word, it's insensitive. Number 2. Take Her to the Moon for Me, Inside Out. Narrowly fighting off tough competition from Toy Story 3, Coco, and Up, the saddest moment in Pixar history might just go to this utterly shattering scene from 2015's Inside Out. Set within the mind of an 11-year-old named Riley, Inside Out personifies her emotions as they go through a journey that acts as a metaphor for the young girl's struggles. The emotions of joy and sadness get displaced from Riley's brain and must get back there before the other emotions totally wreck the place. Along the way, they encounter Bing Bong, Riley's childhood imaginary friend. Bing Bong, who looks like a weird homeless elephant fox thing, helps Joy escape from the memory dump where old memories are erased. However, he can only do this by trapping himself in the dump where he is forgotten. Bing Bong's sacrifice comes from a place of true love. He knows he's had his time with Riley and that his final act will help her to feel better again. His final message of "Take her to the moon for me" is beyond sad and the perfect reminder that movies for kids are often 10 times more emotional than any grown-up film. Number 1. Obi-Wan's Sacrifice, Star Wars, A New Hope. No, Obi-Wan didn't forget how lightsaber fights work halfway through his with Darth Vader. He got himself killed on purpose. Wait a second, that sounds stupid. Why did he do that? Well, as anyone who has seen, heard of, or even knows the word Star Wars should know, it's so that the kindly old Jedi could come back as a Force ghost and prove himself even more useful to Luke Skywalker. Seeing as he was getting on a bit, Kenobi knew that his body was no longer up to the task that his mind needed him to complete. So that's why he held up his weapon and let his former apprentice strike him down. Why he had to wait until Luke was standing right in front of them remains a mystery though. Yeah, it was probably because he needed him to believe he was dead, but that's a lot of trauma for the poor lad. Obi-Wan letting go of his physical form to ascend into ghostliness is one of the defining moments of one of the defining film series. So yeah, think that makes it okay to put it at number 1. What did you think of our listings there? Please do let us know in the comments section. Feel free to come say hello to me on Instagram and Twitter. I am at Strawn87. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, take care.